Alrighty, so you know what this review is all about, given the title. We're going up to the top of a mountain to meet a guy that uses an Icom 7300 for summits on the air. You know, I know a lot of you people say, hey, well, that's totally crazy. Well, you're about to meet the crazy guy. He's a lunatic. He's a lot of fun to hike with and do summits with. We've done a bunch of them. And yeah, this crazy ex-Marine throws the Icom in his backpack, battery, and never once complains, even on some really big summits. It's what you do when you have a radio and you can't operate where you currently live. You take it and have fun somewhere else. I know a lot of people use these for parks on the air, POTA, but yeah, Chris is like, hey, got the radio, might as well use it, and it's a lot of fun. So, and that's really what this hobby is all about. There's no right radio for doing summits on the air, parks on the air, or anything else. It's about getting outside, hiking, and having fun. So, Ray and I, the SOTA dog here, are on our way up the hill to see what the wild man's doing. So, let's get cracking. Normally we come up together, but I had to do something else before I came up, so it's all good.
Noisy.
Well, that's Black Mountain for you.
All right, hey, thanks for the chase in 73.
How you doing, buddy?
URZ, Summits on the Air. Real loud.
What band?
10 meters.
Wow, what's the noise floor?
S3, but it's just...
Yeah, I know, it's nasty up here.
Hotel India. Okay, I had a Hotel India station in there, send it. Okay, Kilo Fox 6, Hotel India. Here is November 3, X-Ray Uniform Lima. You are about a 5 and 2. 5 and 2, how copy? Okay, 5 and 3 in Indiana. Hey, I'll take the 5 and 3 from the Hoosier State. Thanks, and 73.
How many you got so far?
I got 3 from a local net up in Oceanside, and then I got just 3 GX here.
Oh, okay, you haven't been on too long.
Not too long. I did. I got Pete and John on 40 meters.
Nice.
I got 2 guys on 20 meters, and then it's just loud, really loud. So.
Yeah. Another good operating position is right down there. See where that person is? Yeah, that's a better, you get out of the noise and you're still in the AZ.
Well, the problem is, Chris, I set all this stuff up by myself because you decided to join late.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, I had other priorities other than helping you, man.
I noticed. So I'm already set up, so I'm staying.
All right. I get it. That's all good. All right.
Roger, hey, I got you about a 5 and 7, 5 and 7. Can you send your full call one more time? Roger, we copy Kilo Foxtrot 0 Romeo Whiskey Hotel, over.
So we just worked Kilo Charlie 5 Lima Golf Juliet. Nice guys over there in Texas.
Booming in. Wow. Whiskey 6, Oscar Lima Lima. You are 5'9 plus here. I'm calling from Black Mountain here in Rancho Penasquitos. I assume you are nearby.
Yeah, very nearby. 0.9 miles to the west down the street from you. You were blowing my receiver off to death, so yeah, pretty close, my friend. Then here's Ken, Kilo Echo November. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Ken. Yeah, we're doing a Summits on the Air activation. I don't know how familiar you are with that. We're on Summit Whiskey 6 Sierra Charlie 338. That is Black Mountain here. And we're trying to work some DX, but we'll take the guy from 0.9 miles away. Over.
Okay, yeah, I know the spot where you're operating. We walk up there regularly, so hey, thanks for picking me up, and I'll get you back to the DX. W6OLL 73s, my friends. I'll be clear.
Hey, can we get one more? I have another operator up here. Can you work N1CLC for me here? Stand by.
Absolutely. Put the other operator on.
Good afternoon, Ken. November 1, Charlie Lima Charlie. Got you 5930 over.
Okay, yeah, it should be 30 over. It's line of sight to the antenna. So, hey, thanks a lot. You guys enjoy yourself up there on the mountain. I was hiking earlier over by the glider port, and it was unrestricted visibility. It was just a beautiful morning.
Yeah,
so
it's gorgeous.
Enjoy yourself up there. Hope you get some DX. W6OLL, I'll be clear.
Already 73.
Let's do it. QRZ, Summits on the Air. CQ Summits on the Air. This is November 3, X-Ray Uniform Lima for a Summits on the Air activation of Whiskey 6 Sierra Charlie 338 Black Mountain in Southern California for any station anywhere.
Kilo 3 Whiskey Hotel India, WH6HI.
Okay, had two stations in there, one beginning with Kilo 3 Whiskey and one ending in Hotel India. Let's take the Kilo 3 Whiskey station first. Go.
Roger, Kilo 3 Whiskey Yankee, you're a 5-8, Lincoln, Nebraska, over.
Great. I'll take the 5-8 from Lincoln, Nebraska. You are a 5-6, 5-6 up here, kind of noisy. Form Lima.
And that's how you work two operator.
Charlie Lima Charlie.
I found that if you always have the same order of people, that works a lot better. We didn't do that last week. And it's kind of a crazy, but this is working really well.
Okay, I had a Kilo India 5 Romeo Whiskey Oscar.
The secret language he can't understand.
Yeah, he actually, he barely speaks English. Are you recording this? He's got a YouTube channel, but he's not recording any of the jokes. That's terrible.
I'm sorry, man. You can say it again to Uno.
No, it's,
Do you have a YouTube channel?
he does.
I do, yeah.
Okay, I'll follow.
I'll give you a card.
Okay.
Okay.
Just give the
Yeah, get it
their money
renewed,
and
and yeah, it's fun. I mean, it gives us a reason to go to different summits that we wouldn't normally think to go to.
Yeah, this is called Summits on the Air. So there's different summits that have designations, and then you have to make 4 contacts, and then you get the points. And then people there's activators, and then there's chasers, and then the people who talk to you, they get points.
Oh, I see.
So this is just a 1-point summit. This
So
is
and it's just 4?
4 contacts.
That's
you
it.
come up here, talk to 4 people, bang, 1 point.
Wow.
Black Mountain.
I'm sure you can do much more than 4.
Iron
Easy.
Mountain over there. That's Iron Mountain. Or is that
Yeah,
Woodson?
yeah.
That's Woodson over
Woodson,
there.
yeah.
That's Woodson.
Yeah.
Iron Mountain's more over
I think
there.
Woodson's like,
That's 1 point. Woodson's 1 point.
are you sure?
Might be 2.
I think it's 2.
Like, do you have a season?
Woodson 2
You
points.
have to collect so many points within some time?
No.
So it's
No.
one annual
like
year, one calendar year. So
Okay,
you can
I
only
see.
activate once per year each summit. So you can't come
see.
up here every day and get 1 point.
Got it.
So
Right. But it's not about the points.
True. Yeah.
But it is.
I mean, I used to be reasonably good at CW, but
oh wow.
I've been out of practice for some time.
Makes it a lot easier. I mean, there's guys that they just bring like tiny little kits, throw just a tiny little antenna up, and then it's real easy. Me, my CW skills are not so good, so I lug this thing up, and
Yeah, I know. But this is cool.
I got a 10-meter dipole.
That
and
needs
then
some passion.
Yeah. I built the one on the bottom. That's a 10-meter dipole, and then the other one's a link dipole. It does 20, 30, and 40 meters. And you can tune 15 meters on the 40-meter section. So
Yeah, and with CW, I mean, 5 watts, you can work Europe no problem.
Yeah.
So Europe,
mean,
France, Japan.
France all the time.
Yeah, have you gotten any Japanese stations today?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Okay.
I've talked to quite a few. Yeah.
Well, I didn't understand you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can put the subtitles on the video later.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked a bunch of Japanese stations day before yesterday. So, yeah, it's
As you know,
in
it's
the
popular
afternoon.
there, so there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few. Yeah. Response CQ.
Kilo Lima 7 Echo Charlie. Kilo Lima 7 Echo Charlie.
Ooh, get him.
4570. Now, stores, I do Tro in South Central Alaska. Calling CQ.
November 3, X-Ray Uniform Lima. You got it?
Yeah.
And the
You got him.
November 3, X-ray Uniform Lima here. Yeah, I have you about a 4 and 4 fading in and out. Thank you. Stand by for second operator, please.
November 1, Charlie Lima Charlie, QSL.
Roger, November 1, Charlie, Lima, Charlie, Alpha 59, get over, and you have 4570,
QSL, got you 44, thanks a lot.
Absolutely, my friend, I feel appreciate the contact,
73.
It's back.
One of the things about 7300, and you know, you can do it with any radio, but it certainly is set up to do FT8, FT4, and some of the other digital modes, because there's drivers for everything. They all have the commands for the 7300. So Chris plugs the laptop in. Yeah, he hauls a laptop up here too. And it's not a tiny one, you know, like one of those cool K6 ARK or something like that. No, he carries a full-size laptop up here and hooks in, and he's working on getting a few FT8 contacts on 10 meters. So anyway, yeah. So why do you activate FT8 again?
Oh yeah, well that's one of the reasons is it gives a lot of folks that have like suboptimal home setups, you know, an opportunity to chase SOTA. A lot of folks don't have, you know, the ability to have a big giant tower. Maybe they have an HOA, or maybe they're in an apartment. So it's you know, I get chased all the time when I spot myself on FT8 SOTA. I'm surprised, but there's some regular chasers too. So
that's cool.
Gives some folks an opportunity. It's not just voice and CW.
Yeah, and so tell the story about why do you carry the 7300 while you're here doing it?
Oh, well, one, it's kind of plug and play when it comes to the digital modes. Two, you know, it's QRO. It makes it it's like shooting fish in a barrel. That's one thing. I do have an FT818. I've taken that places on occasion, but I mean, really, it's really not that heavy. You know, you can get lighter or you get stronger.
Yeah. So you decide to get stronger.
Yeah, it's a good workout. I mean, this is like a trendy thing. People that ruck, they just put like, you know, weights in their backpack, and I mean, I might as well bring a radio and do something fun with it.
Yeah.
So
I like it. So between this and the FT8, obviously you got QRO power.
Yeah.
What else? It brings an easy digital mode to the game. What else does this bring over the 817?
Well, you have the display, right? So you have the spectrum. You can kind of see when you'll see people like. This is not a very good example with the digital modes, but like when you're operating voice, you can see other stations operating. You'd be like, oh, let me turn the knob and try to chase this guy.
Right.
So makes it a little bit easier to hunt and pounce.
Right.
It's a nice display.
How do you like the sound? I mean, you got a nice big speaker in there.
Yeah. I know a lot of folks that they run with headphones and stuff like that. I don't bring them, not because they're heavy. I mean, obviously, but just not much of a headphone guy. I can hear it just fine.
Okay, battery change complete. So, as you were saying, Chris, it gives you a lot of. Gives you more contacts up here. It's another mode you can operate.
Yeah, it's another mode. In this case, I'm using FT4. It's a little bit faster than FT8. I think there's a little bit less sensitivity versus FT4. A lot of times FT8's really, the band's really crowded. It's FT4 is a little bit less popular. I didn't even spot myself, and I think I've made, 10 QSOs here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
There's a handful of parks on the air folks that activate, so I'll chase them quite a bit. Yeah.
Since I joined Chris, I got 9 contacts sideband. That was fun.
Yeah, we did 2 operators. Did we get all that on camera?
We got a bunch of it. Yeah.
Right.
And then
That'll
when we were up on Watt Day, a little bit longer hike.
Yeah, a little bit. About 4. Yeah, a little bit longer.
And a few more fake summits.
Yeah, like there's about 3 false summits on that hike, which is cool. We like that. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah. It's a pretty good hike, but I got to say, we killed it up there.
Yeah, it was
when
like
we got
110
going.
Voice contacts on 10 meters, something like that.
Yeah, it was definitely over 100 on 10 meter. We had a great time.
I think what helped is it's also a POTA, right? So it's also
Yes.
a park on the air. So you spot yourself on the POTA site, you get probably 10 times the chasers that you do when you're doing SOTA.
Right, and Chris and I were doing the 10 meter because there's a 10 meter challenge right now, so it's a number of unique total contacts throughout the year times the number of unique summits that you do for the year, and then you get points, and it's fun to see if you can get in at least get in the top 10. No way am I going to podium, but it's fun to get out there and try a new band.
There's some folks that have a lot of free time on their hands.
Yeah. Some guys up racking up the points big time. Yeah. So I'll throw that up on the screen right here, and you can see the current standings as we sit in November. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. You worked. What other bands you work today?
I did 40. I got two somewhat locals on 40. I got 2 on 20. A lot of times I'll try to tune up 6 meters and get somebody just kind of for the heck of it.
Right.
Southern California's got a big VHF, UHF scene. You get so many people up in LA and even here in San Diego running 6 meters,
right.
2 meters.
Right. So what Chris has, I don't know if you can see this very well, but he's got a 10 meter cut dipole that he built specifically for doing 10 meter. After having so much fun with my 10 meter dipole, he's like, hey, let me build one. And it took you what, hour?
I spent a lot of time trimming it up and tuned it up in the apartment, and then I was like, I hope it's as resonant outside as it is inside, and it works. So
yeah,
it's I'm not running the tuner. It's almost 1-to-1 on 28180 here.
Right. And you've got a second antenna on here too, Chris.
That's the SOTA. That's the SOTA Beams link dipole. So it's got a 20, 30, and 40 meter section in it.
All right.
The 40 meters will tune up on 15 meters for you.
Okay.
My goal is to take this 10 meter that I built. I got some alligator clips, and I'm going to somewhat duplicate that design and add some sections for different bands that I use. I don't really use 30 meters much. I'm not much of a CW guy. I've done some FT8 chasing on 30 meters. So.
Right. It comes in handy though.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit less noisy than 40 meters, and you can work guys almost the same guys that you would on 40. So
yeah,
that's the one thing I like about it. So yeah, cool. Man, this is, and what, do you know what model battery that is? Probably not.
This is the Biennio, I don't know the model number, it's the 9 amp hour one.
9 amp hour.
I can run this, I'm running 60 watts. This will last me voice and digital modes 2-3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've run this.
Well, we ran it dry.
We ran it dry on Guate when we were up there.
And you probably ran it for an hour, but it was a lot of operating.
I think it was a little over an hour, but then yeah, we also we were running like 70-80 watts. I think we made it a point to just go big or go home.
Yeah. Well, and then we switched to my battery and ran that one.
Yeah, we ran that at about 40 watts until it was almost dead, and then we went and got some burritos.
Yeah.
It was
a little brewski and burrito. Yeah, God, it was fantastic. And Uno over here, yeah, he was just loving it. He's loving it now. Taking a nap.
Living his best life.
Yeah. And then we got the old the SOTA dog over here keeping watch on everything. So, well, there you go. It turns out that you can do Summits on the Air with the 7300, big laptop, heavy battery, and just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And if you've seen in the other videos, I run QRO on the Yaesu 891 and the 857s, and running QRO from a mountaintop is a lot of fun, just because you can generally get more contacts.
Especially at the top of the solar cycle like this.
Yeah, at the top of the solar cycle, and if you're running sideband, you just get more contacts because it's a little bit tougher on sideband. But yeah, you're working basically worldwide sideband, so a lot of fun. So with that, let's go back to the shack and look at the specs on the 7300 and kind of talk through that, and we'll wrap this up. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you.
So there you have it. It's always fun doing a little bit of ham radio with Chris and 3XUL, and that's a great example of you do SOTA with the radios you have, not the radios you want, to borrow a twist on the old military saying. So yeah, the Icom 7300, we'll throw a little slide up here. It is, in my opinion, one of the best value entry-level HF radios out there. It's extremely popular, and with that popularity has come some other really great support for the radio. You've probably either have this radio or you've already seen a bunch of reviews on the 7300. So I'm not going to go totally, deep dive into it. But it is amazingly rugged given Chris's usage. It's not a dainty little base station radio. So it's reliable, has great single sideband sound. It's okay for SOTA and POTA HF operations. It's probably great for POTA operations because you're not typically lugging it too far when you set up a station. You do SOTA with the gear you have, not the gear you want to have, as I've said. Sideband and CW digital filtering on this radio are damn good. It's all digital. There's no audio peaking filter, however, but it works really, really well. I have one of these radios, although I will say I've never hauled it to the top of a mountain, and I used it for about 6 or 7 years. I'm now on my 7610, and the 7300 has a little bit different job to do. Most common functions are on the buttons and the touch screen. So these guys kill it when it comes to usability. In my opinion, certainly when they came out, I bought one about a year after they came out, compared to the Yaesu products, which are great radios, by the way. But I felt that their usability features were just off the charts. This is Chris's everyday SOTA and POTA rig. He does a lot of SOTA and POTA, and there's no mountain that he won't climb. In fact, he and I went on a pretty long hike before this video up to Watte, and Chris just goes, he doesn't complain, and gets it done. As Chris says, if you can't get lighter, get stronger. So jumping over to the radio scorecard here, for weight, for a SOTA radio, it gets an F. So if you do a comparison to, say, the 891, which is another 100-watt radio, it's 5 pounds more. But you certainly get a lot more with the visuals and other things on this radio that you won't get on your little portable 100-watt radios, along with the usability. It's a big radio, so this is kind of the other knock against it. It's really, really big. Out of all the radios that I've compared with, it probably gets another F as well. So it's just really big and bulky. But I will say it has an integrated tuner. So if you take, say, the 891 or the 857, put in an additional tuner, then you start getting close to the bulk of a 7300, not the weight, however. Those tuners, the additional tuners, will also let you tune up anything just under 10-to-1. So you can do random wires and that sort of thing, which you can't do with the 7300. But with Chris, will use the emergency mode for the tuner to kind of bring in antennas that aren't quite there. Band-wise, it scores an A. So it gets you all of the bands, as most people know. It would get an A+ if it just did, say, 2 meter, 70 centimeter, etc. It does all the modes, as you well know. Has a built-in sound card for digital modes, and it's easy configuration. Now, if you remember, I mentioned this is like one of the most popular HF radios out there, certainly for base station work. Therefore, any of the software, most of the software that supports digital modes of communication, also supports a 7300 sound card, etc. And if you just tell them it's connected to a 7300, your computer is, that is, it'll configure your radio, because they have taken the time to study up and configure so that they can just set your radio. It's really nice. Usability, A+. Out of all the radios we're going to test, I can't think of one that has better usability than this one. With the buttons and the touchscreen, it's really a terrific radio. Power utilization, I'm going to give it an A, but honestly, for a 100-watt radio, it's pretty darn good. Now, it's going to suck down a lot of power. So I would recommend bringing a bigger battery. When Chris and I were on Watte, for example, we had a blast working 10 meter. We shared his radio. passed back and forth doing sideband, and we got over 100 10-meter contacts with it. We ran his battery dry, and then we hooked mine up, and he was running about 75 watts on a little bit larger battery. I put my little baby one in there, and we were still running 40 watts and just killing it out there. So it was a lot of fun. Power utilization. So after power utilization, we have filtering and sound. It has notch, twin band pass knobs. There's no peaking filter or roofing filter on this radio. So, you know, it's going to get an A when you compare it to some of the other radios, or actually maybe I'll give it a B actually. So, lastly, fun factor. Now, it is a lot of fun, especially when Chris hauls the radio up and then lets me use it. It's like an 11 for sure. But if you're hauling this radio to the top of a mountain, quite often it's probably not. It brings the fun factor down a little bit just because of the bulk and the extra weight. 5 pounds extra weight over other 100-watt mobile radios. But it has great sound. So out of all the radios for sideband sound, it probably has the best sound. You have to bring a lot of batteries, I'd mentioned before. And if you're humping this radio and it's wintertime and you need to put additional layers in your pack, then you may need a bigger pack. But Chris gets along just fine, as you can see here from this picture. He loads up and goes, huge smile on his face, and a ton of contacts in his log. So there you have it. There's a 7300 for doing SOTA. So to answer the question, can you do SOTA with a 7300? Absolutely. Can you do POTA? Yeah. Great radio, and a lot of POTA operators do take this radio out of the field and have a great time with it. So, hey, with that, I'm going to roll a few credits, and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. And it's always fun doing a little bit of radio with Chris. Chris. I got a lisp, evidently. Take two.